I'm here with the one and only Juliet Lyan.
Hello.
Let's just share this Coke.
Sounds like the last supper. Yes.
Thank you for this.
Of course, my pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is the best. Whoever says Pepsi is better, I'm gonna. Okay, I have a lot of really funny memories of us. You have just left such a big mark on kind of my music. Anytime I think like, oh, I'm gonna, record this song or I'm gonna produce it, like I always am like, oh, he was the first person that ever like listened and actually like really liked my music. I still remember the first time I showed up to your house. We didn't record anything. I just pitched all the songs to you and you were like, this is awesome. And I was like, really? Like no one had ever shown interest in my art that I had just started doing at the time. So that was a really cool memory, and staying outside of my house for like until like 7 in the morning, that was fun. I remember that, and I remember that conversation was so awesome. Like we just talked about life. I live for those moments
with
absolutely. Anyone, and I'm like just talking to people and like listening to their story and being like, oh my gosh, the sun is coming out, what are we doing? Like that was really fun, and I feel like it bonded us every time we did music. It just felt really like I could do or say whatever, and you were like, let's try it, why not? So I don't know, just like all of those months were really awesome, and like working with you and doing music together and like having deep talks, it was just like all really nice. So when it ended, I was like, but then it also felt like, no, it's okay, like those things happen, it's life.
One thing that I was thinking about a lot recently was, and this applies to literally everybody, is your whole life's a book essentially. So if you're always surrounded by the same people, which is beautiful, that can be really great, for the entirety of the book, like where does the narrative like go?
Yeah.
So people do like leave and they come and they go and they come back and everything, and that just allows people to kind of take their own story or their own narrative and be able to push it in a different direction and go through different things and learn different things on top of that. I know that I could still hit you back up, or you know that you could call me up, and if it's anything, like I got you. Or if you ever wanted to try something, like, oh, I got you. Oh, you need the stems of this, like just the instrumental from something from long ago, like I'm sending it to you right now, hold on.
Yeah.
The admiration that you still have for people, like that doesn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
The first time that we hung out to talk potentially about your music, like we didn't even do anything. We were just like, I just asked you like, okay, so like just tell me everything, like just go for it. And you were like leaning back, and we just talked about your summer and how it was going, and struggles and challenges and things that you loved and things that you disliked, and just everything. Mm-hmm. And that was really good.
Yeah, for sure. Because not a lot of people, that's the thing, like my biggest fear was like, is my music going to be just business for him? And then once we did that, I was like, no, like now he knows everything that went into each song story-wise, like how I wrote it, when I wrote it, where I wrote it, and I just shared everything. And I was like, so I need people to hear this. And you were like, let's do it. And I was like, that was amazing. And it just felt very comforting. So that's one of my favorite memories.
Tell me about when you lost your voice.
I was a junior in high school, and I remember it was like November and we were preparing for thespian competitions. Around that time it started to get cold outside, and so I caught this like slight cold. Like it was nothing, not a big deal at all, and I started to lose my voice. This was a normal thing for me because every year I would kind of catch a cold, lose my voice, and then it would come back. So I kind of ignored it, didn't really treat it or try to get any better because I knew that it was going to go away on its own. And then competitions happen, I didn't get it back. December happens, I don't get my voice back. January happens, my voice is still gone. February, getting worse, and at this point it was excruciatingly painful. I had gotten accepted into a school in New York for voice performance, but I knew that this was not an option for me at the moment. And so I decided to go to community college, and it was hard for me because I had such a specific plan for my life and none of it was happening. So I decided to get into private composition lessons. I decided to get better at my piano skills, so I took jazz private lessons, I took classical private lessons, and just dived really into music theory and the writing process of music, and also into my instrument, which was piano. And I also decided to pick up the ukulele. I decided to pick up guitar on my own, just kind of like doing my own thing, and I don't regret it. If you want to learn an instrument, please do it. It's totally doable and it will make you a great musician. So I decided to do that, and then in December of 2017, I was in a really rough place emotionally and mentally, just because of who I was constantly around at school, and I decided that I wanted to go back to church. And so when January came, I went, and that same day I got involved. Like, I knew that it was the next step for me to get involved, and I did so. And long story short, I started going to the church in the beginning of 2018, and by August of 2018 I was full-time an intern at the church. So I was working there, going to school there, and doing everything there, which is something that I never thought I would do. I did my first semester of internship. I was a worship intern, so I did a lot of playing piano and I would sing at times, but I was very fearful of anything that could go wrong in a worship setting in a church. My second semester in January, now a full year since I started going to the church, we have this thing called Tidal Wave Revival, which is like a big celebration after we do our 21-day Daniel fast. And so we were doing this thing, and it was the last day, last worship set, and I just happened to not be on worship, and I'm on the floor and I'm kind of jumping around, and all of a sudden I feel this like bang on my vocal cords. And so I'm like standing still in the middle of the crowd. They're jumping around me. Everything felt slow motion. That's how I can explain it. Everything was slow motion. I was like, what just happened? And my immediate reaction was to say check, because I thought I was a mic or something, I don't know. And so I said check, and immediately I felt no pain for the first time in probably like 3-4 years, something like that. And I knew in that moment I was healed. And the only way that I can explain it is a miracle. Like, I just was healed in that moment, and I don't know why or how. I didn't do anything to get there, but it happened. And ever since then, the day is February 1st, 2019. I've been healed, and there has been no pain, and I've been able to sing and songwrite, because I've stayed with the composition aspect of it too. So that's where I am, and here I am today.
You know, your whole family is full of musicians.
Mm-hmm.
You've been around music your entire life.
Yes.
Tell me about your favorite memories, or like, when did you get involved in music?
Yeah, so I was 7. First grade, my mom just picked me up, and I walking toward the car, and I see my dad, and he's holding a piano in his hand, and I just remember like running toward him, and that's my first like instrument memory where I knew that was my instrument.
Yeah.
And so like I've been playing piano for 14 years now, and that was how I kind of got involved. And I wanted to be a singer so bad, and I just didn't have the ear for it until I trained my ear for music and piano. You know, a couple years later, I'm now in 9th grade, and I've been playing piano for a while, but I decided to audition for the musical, and I got a lead role, and that was the first time that I found out I could sing. And that's literally it. And so ever since then, I've been getting training for my voice.
That was a Les Mis, right?
Les Mis, yes. Yeah. Eponine.
I remember that.
Yep. So I literally could not hold a note to save my life until 9th grade. Amen. Praise God.
Everybody was hyped for you.
I know. I was hyped for me too, because I was like, I can sing. It felt like a dream come true.
Yeah.
Because I always wanted to do it, and my sisters are incredible. My mom's incredible. And here I am, not being able to sing. And I was like, I'm not even part of this family.
You have been like songwriting, like legit writing since, I think, 2016 or 2017.
Yeah,
because
right when I lost my voice.
You told me that the first song that you wrote was on the ukulele.
Dream,
Okay.
yeah.
You have shown me like notes upon notes, voice memos. Like, you would send me voice memos for song ideas and melodies. What are some of your favorite songs? Because I have mine.
That's hard.
That from you.
Can I know?
Of course.
What is it?
Well,
These are like probably old.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
like Shine On.
Wow.
I just love like B minor, and I know that somewhere in there,
I know.
you
The
know.
song is in B minor.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. In between, I wrote it here in your house.
That's right.
I wrote
That's
in between
right.
at your house. Wow, I wrote in between it right in your room while you were in the bathroom. I wrote it in like those 4 minutes that you were in there.
I remember, yeah.
You
you were
came out and
kinda
I was like, I have a new song. And you're like, what? I think I have 3, and you're not gonna know them. These are just more recent. I have one that's called It Is True. I wrote it like 2 years ago. I just don't know why. It's one of those songs that feels very personal to me. So I just love it so much. It just talks about believing that you can do it, and it sounds really cheesy, but I don't use cheesy lyrics in it, so it just sounds like you could interpret it in whatever way that you want, but it will always be positive. And so I always have loved singing the song. Also melodically, it's very fun to sing. So I'm like, this is awesome. Another one that I love is called Front Row, and it just talks about facing your issues like head on. And so I love that song because of its message and because I love to sing it. I don't know, it's just some songs I just really like to sing. And then the other one that I really like, is one of the more recent ones that I've written, is called Out of Control. It's called Out of Control. And it just, I wrote it as soon as quarantine started, and just how everything felt. But then it has this positive side to it of like, it's gonna be fine. Like, you seem to be going out of control, but I'm telling you, everything's gonna be fine. So I feel like a lot of the reasons why I love my songs and why they're like top is because they carry such a personal message that anyone can apply. So it's personal to me, but it's super applicable. So those 3 are my favorite songs.
That's such a beautiful talent, and
Thank
you
you.
have this capability, like this, not even this capability, this ability, this skill to write songs on the fly. And I know that you've gone through writer's block before, which you can elaborate on that, but to have such a huge arsenal of songs and content, does it get overwhelming? Like, I know that you had plans for a lot of them, and what are your plans for them now, if you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I have way too many songs, for sure. I think for me, just it was never a business. It's never been a business for me, which I feel like that's why I have so many, because I don't write with the purpose of selling them. I write with the purpose of writing and as an art form, and then whoever wants to be a part of it can be a part of it. So I even have a songwriting group, and I teach people how to songwrite, and they teach me how they songwrite, and it's the best thing ever. I just feel like songwriting is open to anything. So you could be a DJ and songwrite, you could be a singer and songwrite, you could be an artist and songwrite, you could be a technician and songwrite, you could be anything and songwrite. So there's never like you don't have to be anything, and that's what I love. That's what I've seen with the group. Like, I see people that are like, they love economics and they're going to school for it, but then they come to songwriting group and they write, and it's beautiful and their songs are incredible, and I'm like, I just love how open that songwriting box is. For me, it's just been an outlet, and I just see it as that. Like, I can go to songwriting for anything and everything. The song could be sad, it could be happy, it could be mellow, it could be joyful, it could be anything, and that's completely acceptable.
Talk about like the writer's block and how scary that could be for something that you are not even like something that you're so good at, and yeah, you're good at it, but like something that's so like it's just so natural.
Quick. Yeah, so this happened in November of last year, so a couple months ago, not too long. I just literally couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, and nothing triggered it. It was just like I stopped because I couldn't do it. And then it was really bad. I couldn't write for months, like for months. I think I picked up the guitar again in like February, so I was like 4 months. And that, for people are like, oh, that's nothing. For me, like, I was every day songwriting. Like, it happened every single day.
Yeah.
Then I would come up with a little hum or a little something, and I was dry. And it was awful because I wanted to say so much and I couldn't. So I would just write about it, and I would write lyric ideas and whatever, but I had no melodies, no chords, I had nothing. I would pick up the ukulele, nothing would come out. Guitar, nothing would come out. Piano, nothing. It was just like, okay, I'm definitely, this is God. You're okay. Is this over for me? Cool. Moving on to the next thing. All right, I'm down. But it was bad. Like I felt like I had lost a friend.
Man.
It felt like that. I was like, I feel like I'm grieving because you no longer want to be a part of my life. And it sounds so cheesy, but yeah, it was hard because I had to express my thoughts and my feelings in other different ways that never satisfied the same. Because that's my craft, that's my thing. So it was bad. But then my first song back, I was like, I am back. And I knew when I wrote it, I was like, yeah, this is good songs.
Music's just it's a powerful thing.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah. I wouldn't be here without it for sure. And like I 100% would not be here without it.
What do you think you'd be doing if you didn't have music?
That's funny. I asked that to the group last week and they're like, die. And I was like, no, for real. Like, why would you do? I think I said I would do theater. I would do acting. I would do arts somehow, in some way. I like anything that is artistic. I like anything that shows expression. I would be down to write. Like just write. I love writing blogs. I don't like to read, but I like to write. So I feel like without music, I would do some other type of art. Music is not the only art, but it is my favorite art. Cheers. We are human. Peace out.
I gotta work on that.